Hey lovely viewers, welcome to my channel USA Gossip TV. Listen to the news headline first, and please hit the subscribe button for more update. General Hospital spoilers. Drew blew up Sonny's extension. Monstrous secret revealed. Why Drew morphed into an awful and nasty man. Now summary. General Hospital spoilers. Drew blew up Sonny's extension. Monstrous secret revealed. General Hospital spoilers allude that Drew Quartermain may have been the one to blow up Sonny Corinthos' extension. Will Drew's most monstrous secret eventually be revealed? There's no denying that Drew has done some enough awful effects in recent months. Just when it seems like Drew K ain't sink any lower, he manages to eclipse himself. With that in mind, it'd be a mistake to ignore Drew as a possible malefactor in the extension explosion riddle. That's especially true if Drew might be on his way off the show. In that case, it's easy to imagine G.H. Penn's really committing to Drew's minatory side. What better way to do that than by making Drew responsible for the attack on Sonny's place? It's possible Drew targeted Sonny's extension because of the guardianship drama that was about to toast up. Drew might have viewed it as a strategy to help Willow Corinthos gain the upper hand. Maybe Drew wanted to punctuate the peril that tends to compass Grandpa Sonny and make it feel like Michael Corinthos could have had the kiddies in an area that wasn't safe. Of course, Drew presumably did not anticipate Michael to get caught in the explosion and face severe becks. Michael ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time, but it could still be Drew's fault that his life was in jeopardy, at least if he's indeed behind the extension attack. Drew is a former Navy SEAL who brings plenitude of training and coffers to the table. We could clearly imagine Drew getting his hands on an inflammatory device typically used for black ops. It's clear that Drew's got a grudge against Sonny anyway, so General Hospital may be laying the route for Drew to be revealed as the architect of the explosion. Still, the fallout is going to be violent if Drew's truly to condemn. Willow will be stupefied and furious if she realizes Drew nearly bring Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos their father. There's also the matter of Sonny and Jason Morgan's vengeance, which could be nippy and conceivably fatal. Our prognostications point to the real villain of this extension blowup being relatively shocking, so stay tuned for updates on whether Drew might have gone too far. General Hospital spoilers say Drew may not survive if he's crossed this dangerous line, so we'll bring you more news on his potentially grim path. General Hospital, why Drew morphed into an awful and nasty man. Hey, General Hospital spoilers reveal what in the world happened to Drew Kane Quartermain and why he's so nasty now and so mean. He has gone from a really nice Joe to the biggest creep in Port Charles, and suckers detest it. However, we're going to break it down if you're wondering why. The transformation of Drew Kane from hero to zero on General Hospital. When Billy Miller began the part, and indeed after Cameron Matheson took it over, the old Drew was a drastically different person than the monster we've now. It seems like overnight he went from being a decent, aloof Joe to a selfish, sleazy slime ball. So, we're going to take a look at some of the reasons why Drew just suddenly morphed into a different character. Some of the crazy effects that happened to Drew are why he's such a creep right now. He was good at putting on a stalwart face and fastening on the future rather than his awful history, but that was ahead. To be fair, Drew has a whole lot of traumas that he's no way completely reused. He pushed it down, and he tried to move forward as if it now happened. So, now it seems like it's just surfacing and evolving him into someone who's worse and worse by the day. General Hospital. Look back at Drew. Suppose back when he first came on General Hospital, Drew was told he was Jason Morgan. However, he'd been brainwashed and transferred to Port Charles to do bad effects to people the Cassadines abominated, if you flash back. But also, right off the club, Ava Jerome hit him with her auto. And that's how they explained the different face, because they did plastic surgery. And why he'd brain trauma and amnesia. That's why he was originally Jake Doe, who was also a veritably nice Joe. But on top of the other trauma he had, that was like a bunch of physical trauma right off the reverse. It was Carly Corinthos Spencer that suspected he was Jason, and she ran that test. He was a match for Jason because identical halves have that same DNA. So he went from being Jake Doe to Jason Morgan, and still was a good Joe for a while despite his once trauma. But also Steve Burton decided to come back to GH. And also they raised the real Jason from the dead and constructed this new character, Drew Kane, and pushed Billy Miller into that part. Character rewrites and the impact on Drew's identity. Part of the problem is this whole mess where they did character rewrites to accommodate Burton's comeback. Drew's life was weird when he set up out he wasn't Jason, but he was his binary ex-Navy SEAL Andrew Kane. As if that wasn't enough, also he set up out he'd a teenage son, Oscar Nero, and not long after he set up that out, Oscar failed of cancer. After Drew acclimated to all this, being Jason's twin, and Jason's the Joe that utmost people prefer over him, despite him being a heroic Navy SEAL, between that and Drew losing his son, chancing out he'd been experimented on, effects just got worse. Also, they killed off Drew. He was presumed dead in an airplane crash, but Peter August had snared him up and held him for satanic reasons. Still, he was holding Drew interned on Cassadine Island for 2 times. If you flash back, also the Penns decided to bring the character back, remake him with Cameron Matheson. And to grease the comeback, Drew made a call to high-sex wife and mama of his son and reached out to Sam McCall, and she realized he was alive and demanded help. So Anna Devane, who was still with the WSB at the time, she and Valentin Cassadine decided to go searching for him and figured out Peter August was responsible for his exposure. It turned out Drew was still mind-controlled. Peter was using him as a killer, and also he turned Drew against the crew that came to deliver him. In the deliverance attempt, Jason offered himself to save Drew and some others, and also because of that, Jason was presumed dead again. The descent into darkness, Jason's return, and Drew's enmity. Next, we're going to talk about why and when Drew began his descent into being a dirtbag, and how Jason's return pushed him over the edge. At this point, when he's coming back and his family's gone, Drew had put away a lot of his enmity toward his binary family. They were erecting a treehouse, all that. He did suffer Jason's death. So when Jason returned again after that coming death, it was weird. Drew had this instant abomination for Jason, and it was shocking since he failed saving him among other people, but a lot of that was because of Carly and family issues. The whole SEC debacle made effects worse when Nina Reeves outed them to the SEC, and also Drew decided to take the fall, and he did prison time so Carly wouldn't have to. That's the point when Drew really started going dark. While he was in Pentonville, Drew was beaten. And prison wasn't good for his once PTSD. And after that, he was really no way the same. When Drew got out of captivity, he was angry, he was fraudulent on vengeance, and effects have been going upwardly since also. Carrie, Nina, and vengeance. The energy for Drew's hatred. Before captivity, his love with Carly was going okay. But let's be real. It wasn't a smart thing for Drew to get involved with Carly just from the jump for several reasons. But the biggest bone, was that Jason meant the world to her indeed, though at the time they were dating, she allowed he was dead. When Jason came back from the dead, yet again, this like his third or fourth time back, Drew felt hovered. He felt jealous. He knew Carly would always choose Jason. So Drew ditched Carly preemptively after she hid Jason from the police. And that explains some of the decreasingly bad station we keep seeing growing every day, every occasion. Also, when Drew got out of captivity, in addition to the Carly split, he wanted vengeance on Nina for transferring him to Pentonville. I mean, it was his choice to cover Carly, but it was Nina's petty plot that put him in that position in the first place. So he abominated Nina. He begrudged Carly pushing back on him for chasing. She wanted Drew to just forget Nina, move on. He could not let it go. So between the captivity stint, Nina's capers, Carly's fidelity to his twin, Drew just got decreasingly hateful. However, it was hate coitus if you flash back when he started up with Willow Tate. I also wouldn't be surprised if Drew originally targeted Willow as some crooked vengeance plan on Nina. That might be part of what's going on in his brain with the crazy eyes and the whole deal. Twisted passions and diabolical plans. Drew's current state on General Hospital. Drew went and caught passions. I do suppose he cares about her. Drew may be enjoying being with his youngish nut, but also laughing at how important pain it's causing Nina. That's kind of satanic, but that's how he's recently. Another reason Drew is so unpredictable, and Dante Jason comes from their non-age. He was espoused, but Jason was kept in the family, grew up as a quartermain. And it bothers him. He's jealous of Jason. Drew has made it clear he resents the family for loving a hitman, mob enforcer further than they do him. Drew has tried hard to fit in and be part of the family, tried to be a proper quartermain that they wanted to have among them, but now Drew is lashing out at the Qs too. He doesn't want to be around them because they prefer Jason. Anybody would be traumatized by all the stuff that Drew has endured. Issues from non-age, swaying, being weaponized as a secret homicide. He lost a child, he nearly failed in captivity, and he feels like everybody chooses Jason over him. In a recent interview, Cameron Matheson joked that Jason was the evil twin because that's surely how Drew sees it. All these effects, the summation of it all, has made this terrible interpretation of Drew that we've right now. Insupportable conduct and the future of Drew Kane. As if stealing his whoreson's woman and kitties wasn't enough, he's moving them in while Michael Corinthos is enduring painful burn recovery. Now he's blackmailing Portia Robinson to discipline Curtis Ashford, who was his stylish friend, and Willow is enough much the only person in his corner. Everybody differently despises him. The nethermost line, indeed, knowing all the reasons that Drew is so nasty and awful, it doesn't excuse it. He's burned all his islands, and I suppose he's going to go down soon. We'll see. Perhaps Drew can be redeemed ever eventually, but right now, by far, he's the most hated character on General Hospital among the suckers. He's an unashamed villain at this point. Tell me what you suppose in the commentary. Does knowing why Drew is so damaged make you understand it more? Or do you not watch and you just suppose he's terrible? Let me know what you suppose. Thank you for being a pious listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the coming occasion. Thanks for watching these videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.